Welcome, Investor Central Club and STAX users. This is Eric here, and what I want to do today is go over a quick little introduction to our STAX software and go over a couple of the updates that we've had since our initial release in December of 2023. First off, what I do want to point out is our main page. If you do not have the STAX app actually installed, if you're on an Android, there will be an install app on the top right of the screen. Otherwise, if you are on iOS or on your computer, you can go ahead and install it by going to and using the share button while you are on this on a Safari app. You can use the share button, add to home screen, and you can go ahead and add this app as a clickable app on your home screen so that you can access this and do not need to use the browser instead. For those of you that are already signed up, let's jump into STAX and give you an overview of what the features are. As we go into STAX, you'll see we've got a couple of different boxes here that are separated in terms of the different tools that we offer. This top left one is the options dark pool scanner. What it does is it gives us the option prints that are flowing through the dark pool, gives them to us in real time, lets us know if they're buying, selling, if it's calls or puts, the size of the premium, how much money they're spending on these options, the expiration, the strike, details of it, as well as when they're purchasing. So that's what this spot price is. In addition, what we have done is we've made it very intuitive for you guys. We have a couple of these symbols that show up under signals. And for those of you that are confused as to what they mean, you can go under the FAQ and you can go ahead and look up our STAX emoji signals under what do the signals in STAX mean. And we've got a little picture here that helps you understand what the different option print symbols mean. We've got time constraints, long-term, short-term, 0 days to expiration, option moneyness, in the money, at the money, out the money. And if it happens to be a very far extreme out of the money, you'll see this target. And as well as premium spent, anything with over $1 million in premium gets the big money symbol here as well. Our STAX AI, which is a very big point of what we've done, a great filter that helps us determine the most unusual and most aggressive purchases in our software, will be compounded risk profiles, as you can see here, where multiple of these different emojis will appear, signaling something that is worth taking a look at. Remember, you can find that over here in the FAQ. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Now let's go back into our STAX software. There are, of course, additional constraints, additional things that you can look at. Expected move, like I had said, if you find an expected move over 10%, you'll start to see these targets as well. So here, this one is an expected 33, 38%. You'll see that symbol show up along with the out the money symbol. Volume, open interest, IV, implied volatility, the type of purchase, the ticker type, the sector in which they are purchased in, and as well as conditions. Conditions is a little bit newer in terms of what is offered in our software. You can also go into our FAQ here and take a look at what the option trade conditions mean. There are definitely a lot of different ones to take a look at. I'm not going to go over all of them right here, but if you do have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. In addition to our options prints, you can also trigger the voice alerts here. If you want to, if you're going to be stepping away from your computer, or if you're somebody who enjoys the audio of it, you can activate the prints, the voice prints here, that will help you stay on track of what's flowing in real time. In addition, we have these quick filters where we can go ahead and filter for just the buys. We can filter for ETFs and only ETFs. We can filter and hide all the ETFs. We also have the ability to filter and find just the big money prints, so anything over $1 million that is spent. We have an unusual filter that we've come up with that generally happens to be high risk situations that raise an eyebrow. And of course, there are plenty of people that enjoy looking at what we have to offer in terms of our STAX AI. You'll notice STAX AI has multiple different signals, high expected moves, large premiums as well. And these, as we've done, if you haven't seen already, we have monthly back testing done for these in order for you guys to understand how high of a hit rate and how high of a return we happen to get. As of today of March 12th, 2025, our current hit rate is at about a 90% win rate with an average of over 230% returns on all of our STAX AI prints. So keep in mind, very high probability for these, but we do want to remind you guys, make sure that you manage your risk. Take a look at what our videos have to say. There are definitely strategies that can be taken in order to maintain that profitability. In addition, what we can also do in this, you can go ahead and click on any of these tickers and you'll automatically go and filter for them, not only in our options pool, but also in the equities as well. So what you'll see on the right side, and of course we can go ahead and move these around as well. The equities prints in terms of, are they purchasing the stock itself, what the spot price is that they're purchasing at, how much they're buying, as well as conditions for those purchases in the dark pool. Dark pool prints will show up in purple. And what we also have in terms of extreme high, a big money filter as well for these. Our limit here, I believe, is $200 million or above. You'll see them show up in this category. Quick way to reset everything. If I've checked off a couple of these, I've got filters going on. A quick way to reset everything, we've got the reset all button up here on the top right. Another thing to point out, we can always filter for just today, filter for the week, because again, these are all the active or potentially active prints that have shown up. So you'll see prints all the way back here for early 2025, and if I scroll back far enough, I'll probably find some 2024 prints as well. For today, for the week, anything that still hasn't passed the expiration, as soon as we've passed the expiration date for them, they are removed from our database here. So these are all potentially active option prints that we can consider. On the top left over here, we have a market gauge of put to call ratio. You can see how many millions of volume of calls versus puts, as well as the premiums and a comparison of that. So for example, if I'm taking a look of just the ETFs for right now, as we have just hit correction territory for the markets, you'll see the calls volume, 10.47 million calls to 15.9 million volume of puts. In terms of the calls premiums, $6 billion to the $9 billion of puts. I can also go through here and filter it just for the week. You'll see the adjustments there. And you can also filter it for just today. So for example, today we'll see the market was heavily bearish in terms of puts and puts to calls in not only the volume, but also the premiums. In addition, what we also have here, keep in mind the flow scanner down here is active, and when you reset it, is active for just the week that we are in. So from Monday the 10th until today, Wednesday the 12th, we can see that SPY has been quite bearish. We have had another bit of a drop in the indices where we see 400 plus million of puts to the $83 million of calls, giving us a total of $496 million spent. We can also get an idea of the most common contract that is purchased and the frequency of those contracts. And another quick way to filter, not only for the ticker, but I can click on that options contract and we can go ahead and see what is happening with it as well. Keep in mind though, our flow scanner is segmented by buys versus sells, so I can also go in here and filter for the number of sells in these, see how many puts and how many calls have been sold in this week as well. Keep in mind that's in premium. I can also filter for the volume, the total number of option contracts as well. A couple of other little updates that we've had over the course of or over the lifetime of STAX since we were released. We can always go and readjust these boxes for yourself. We've always had the market events where we can see tomorrow we've got initial jobless claims, as well as the Fed funds target rates, some retail sales numbers, etc. And you can always take a look in here to see what type of catalyst may be coming up for the week or coming up for the month. Recently, we've had a politician tracker that we've added where we can go ahead and see the purchases and the sells of all of our politicians. Great way to get an idea, especially because a lot of these politicians happen to sit on committees where they happen to be able to make the laws and come, set things up for some of these stocks. Sometimes government contracts, sometimes coming up with funding or new bills that allow these companies to thrive and flourish. Sometimes they'll also sell or buy puts in situations when they expect that these stocks may go down. Always a good idea to get an idea of what these politicians are doing. On the other side, we also have insider trades. Insider trades, so the CFOs, a lot of the officers that sit on these large companies will have to report what they do in terms of their stock buys and stock sells. So as we can see right now, we've got some companies that are selling quite a bit of their holdings. We can see, quite some bearishness right now. If you see DPZ, I believe that's Domino's Pizza, quite a bit of sells, and that just started to come in earlier today. So I would not be surprised to see if those stocks start to come back down. A lot of purchases for DTM here. You can see that Robert Skaggs Jr. today filed these. We can see how much that they're selling or buying these at, for example. Quick thing you can also do, all of these columns that you see up here can be filtered, so I can go ahead and filter for the total transaction amount, find out how much that they've bought or sold, when it happened, how many they purchased or sold as well. Always good information to keep in mind when it comes down to what the insiders of these large companies are doing. On the top right over here, you can always go in here and take a look at your grid view settings. Right, real quick, I'm just going to reset everything for you guys to see. If, for example, you don't happen to need some of these, I can go ahead, I can take away my insider trades, politician trades, market events, equity blocks. If I'm not using them too often or do not need to take a look at them, just gives you a little bit more real estate on the page for you to consider and for you to move things around as well. Last but not least, we do have access. If you are a STAX member, you do have a bit of access to our Discord channel. Oh, looks like it's having some trouble right now. But you will have access to our main chat, STAX support, testimonials, club profits, and any announcements that are coming up. This widget was working just a bit earlier. Looks like Discord is experiencing a couple little issues right now. Let me go ahead. Let me sign out and come and see if that resets everything. There we go. If you do happen to come across any issues, please don't hesitate. You can always go ahead and message us at help@Investor Central Club if something's not working. If any of your, if you notice a pause in the options flow, if you notice that our Discord isn't accessing, if you notice any sort of issues with the software, please let us know as soon as possible so we can get some of our technicians to work on that. But that's what I had for you guys today in terms of STAX, Investor Central Club, our software here. Very powerful tool. If you haven't checked out our back testing videos, please don't hesitate. Go take a look at those. They're also on our YouTube. And it's, again, this very, very powerful tool. We've got some additional features coming for you guys in the near future. Please be patient with us as we get those things sorted out and set up for you guys. But again, this has proven to be a great tool in managing and gauging the market sentiment for what institutional traders are doing. Like I said, if you have questions, go ahead and send it over to help@investorcentralclub.com, or if you are in the Discord or in our software, you can go ahead and let us know in the STAX support channel as well. With that being said, this is Eric here with Investor Central Club, STAX software. Happy to do this for you guys. Keep an eye out for our next upcoming back testing at the end of March, and I'll see you guys in the next one.